Hey everyone, it's Eternal
Hello.
Paranormal. How's everyone today?
We're
Good.
doing good. Doing good. It's Friday. TGIF.
Yep, that's
Thank
for
God
sure.
it's Friday.
So tonight, what are we doing tonight, guys?
Well, we are going to be discussing some stuff that happened at our last investigation at Ashmore with the one and only Haunted Happy Hour podcast, Lily and Vanessa. And we're going to kind of talk about our experiences. We've had personal experiences, we've had together as a group experiences. And not only the experiences, but just in general about the whole entire day and night, from start to beginning. Uh, as our first collaboration with these guys, they're a fun group of ladies, and we had a really good time. So we want to dig down and just kind of share with everybody what happened.
These guys are a freaking blast too. We're definitely
Yeah,
doing this again. And we'll
coach.
talk about kind of a location that we discussed on the bucket list, possibly in the summer, but we haven't really fully decided yet. But I'm super excited. I'm down. And it
I'm
would be
definitely
awesome
down.
to have them come with us again.
Are we going to announce that later in
So
the show?
we'll talk about it later for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
But we had a really good time. Lily and Vanessa are freaking awesome. It was just all over, like just fun vibes. Definitely, it was a haunted happy hour. So we're gonna go ahead and bring them on. Bill, he said he can't stay long. Want to share the love. We love you, Bill. Thank you for
Hey,
coming
Bill.
in. Hope you're
Hi.
doing good.
Yeah, hope all is well, bud.
So if you guys have any questions for haunted happy hour tonight, if you have any questions for us tonight, if you have any experiences, if you've been to Ashmore Estates yourself, put it in the comments. Let us know. And yeah, we'll go ahead and bring on Vanessa and Lily now.
Hello.
Hey!
Woo!
Yay!
Party time.
Now it's a party.
It's a party. Man. So how have you ladies been?
A paranormal party.
Yes.
Cheers, cheers.
Oh,
Cheers.
okay, well cheers first.
I
So
like
how
your
have you
mug,
ladies been?
Vanessa.
What?
What's that?
Whose mug?
I like your
I'm like
koozie.
way up here.
Oh.
Whose mug? What?
Vanessa's.
Oh. Nice. I need a
Thank you.
koozie.
Yes.
Oh.
Now we need
So,
to get one that says noobs with boobs.
dude,
Yeah.
Oh my
that's the
Down
one.
with that.
I still have
Let's do that.
I still have
Yes.
this thing on my dashboard, and I've been driving around like that, and I pulled into work, and I totally forgot it was still there. And
Oh,
there the whole freaking day, everybody's passing by in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, forgot.
I hope they're honking. I hope they're honking. Dude, if we get like
Did you hold it up?
we'd have to make koozies, beer koozies with Newport brews.
Awesome. Next time, Derek.
I'm gonna draw up an idea. Maybe. So I was just gonna ask, how have you guys been since the investigation? How is your guys' week?
Wow, busy.
yeah.
Friday couldn't come soon enough, but I will say, man, I was tired up until like I swear Wednesday. Like
Yep.
I'm finally now just like
Yes.
Yeah.
reality.
I was just gonna say that too. I'm like, man, that was intense.
Yeah, it really takes a toll. It took me, yeah, like Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
until I started getting back to. I'm like, oh my god, I am really exhausted. Monday came, then it was Tuesday, and I'm like, okay, tonight is the night I get my full 8 hours, maybe, 7, 6 if I'm lucky. And yeah, I mean, I can totally relate to that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I knew I was gonna be tired, but I didn't know it was gonna be that horrible.
That tired.
Oh
I'm getting to
yeah.
the age where it takes a
I
few
was
days,
definitely
even
looking
for like
forward to
a.
today too.
Yeah, that's funny. I was gonna say, I'm like
Because
at
I
that.
get to
Parents'
sleep in for
house.
a little bit longer tomorrow.
Just a little bit.
Nice.
Just a little
No,
Yeah.
you're not, because I'm gonna wake you up.
Mm.
Where's that mute button, Alicia?
And goodbye, Derek.
Oh.
I got something better than that.
Alicia has all the power.
So
Is that a ghost? Is that an apparition?
I love it.
so
So go back and let's go back and shut up, Derek, and just let's talk about the noobs with boobs thing because that was funny, dude. Seriously, you got to
We
tell
need
the
to explain
story.
that.
God, I don't even know how that
Wasn't me.
happened. I know Derek was messing around in the back and obviously just being himself, joking around, being all goofy. And somehow we started talking about how all three of us in that car were all the noobs.
Yeah.
And I swear people just started saying words and all of a sudden Derek noobs with boobs. You gotta write that down. And so I pulled out a sheet of paper that I happened to have, and I was like, "Oh my god, let's write it down and then drive by Tiffany's car
Hold
and
it up.
honk all crazy." So that's what happened.
It was a lot of fun. The car ride was a lot of fun.
that was a blast.
It was.
Yeah, when you log on to Tank Pro, you
Together
should get
up,
your
trying to be
tank.
super like all hyped. It was
There
cool.
you
I loved it.
So I haven't had to do the Derek drill yet. We won't
It
talk
was
about
so
that.
funny because Tiffany was like, so Tiffany, she was like, "Oh look, they're coming up next to us." So we waited and we thought maybe you guys were gonna pass us or something. And then you guys start honking and you're like this. They got these two plastic doll hands that clearly got the sign.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yes, the hands. I totally forgot about
I
the
forgot
hands.
about that too.
I love
Oh,
that you
yeah,
guys
it was
did
so
that,
funny.
though. I was
I need a pair of them. I really do.
I couldn't
Pair of
concentrate
boobs?
driving after that.
Oh man,
Oh, that was great.
that was awesome.
It definitely was a fun trip on the way back. On the way there, on the way back, it was kind of
Exhausted.
well. It had
Yeah.
some funny parts at the beginning. We were all like dead to the world, and I looked
Yeah.
in the rearview mirror at Lily's eyes, and she's like this. Just like I was like, are you okay?
That is freaking
So then I kept trying to
hilarious.
talk just to keep you awake and to keep everybody kind of like awake during the ride on the way back because it's 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
You guys still had longer because you had to go home.
Yes. Props to you though, Alicia. Like you super kept us laughing and you kept me awake, really, is what happened.
She kept it going. She kept us talking.
Shoot, Charles passed out in the car on the way
Yes.
home.
I
Yeah.
had to because it's
Yeah.
hard.
That was almost Lily. Lily just didn't
Yes.
drive off the road.
Oh, it was
Your
horrible.
hands take the wheel.
Yeah.
Where were those little hands at? They could have taken over.
Nope.
Oh my god.
So I want to say I appreciate you guys letting me take over the radio on the way there. and being a DJ because
Scary.
It was a lot of fun.
yeah, and tolerating my singing, you know. So I mean, you guys got to know me just a little bit more, and
Which was good. It
so
was fun.
yeah. So basically, when we first got into town, well, there's a town just before Ashmore, and basically we stopped at the
Charleston.
local Walmart. Yeah, Charleston. We stopped at the local Walmart and we got like a bunch of stuff for like, you know, a little fire for the night and a bunch of snacks and stuff like that. And then we went on to meet some of the caretakers there, some of the workers there, and they basically, you know, gave us a tour of the place and all that. But
Gary.
Charles, get your butt on camera.
That's Charles in the
I can hear
background.
you. Better get your butt on camera. Anyway, so
he can't hear you. She's got the headphones in.
so we like, did you guys play music to like pump you up before? Like, what did you guys do? I feel like y'all listen to like elevator music. Was you guys being lame? Because we were definitely kicking it. We were kicking it.
Who, us?
Yeah, what'd you do? What did you do anything to hype you guys up?
Oh, yeah.
Hype you up?
Alicia took over the
We were-
radio.
We were playing. Yeah, we were playing. I was playing dubstep,
That
and,
is hilarious.
party music,
Yeah, we're playing
and then I don't remember what
Eminem.
else.
We're
That's
playing
funny
Eminem.
because I also played Eminem and we had played
Oh,
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
That's weird. I did not know that until just now. That is freaking hilarious.
So Alicia took over with my phone.
Well, that's I mean, you know, hell. I was gonna say that's like two great minds think alike, I guess.
And then we, yeah. So yeah, and then we took a couple pit stops to kind of stretch our legs, and then we were back on the road again, and we got there at 5:40, 5:30. Stopped at the store like Derek said, and headed over there and met them, and I'll let you guys, Lily and Vanessa, take over and talk about how the night went from there on forward.
So it was crazy because well, when we so we released earlier this week the latest episode of our podcast, and we talked about our experiences and kind of did our own little recap. But when I was talking to Vanessa about it, I was like, what did you feel driving up to the place? Like, obviously we've never been there before, obviously noobs with boobs, so we're like, what did you feel driving down and seeing like that huge building? Because I mean, obviously we've seen it in pictures, we've seen it on TV, and on TV it's one thing, but seeing it in person, it was, to me, I was like, holy crap,
Yeah.
this is huge.
Yeah, it was like super overwhelming, just super eerie, just knowing, well, this is it. We're about to go in. It felt kind of like Scooby-Doo and the gang going in there.
For real.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was like so dark, I mean, we couldn't really see very much. They had a few lights out on the property, just illuminating certain pieces, but really dark. And that really added to kind of like the whole mystery of the building itself. So that was really cool. Like, it was really cool, but at the same time, it was pretty scary.
Well, and the fact that we were in the middle of nowhere as well was like extra spooky.
And driving down that dirt road, I was like, holy crap, where are we going?
They're like, surprise, we're actually not going to Ashmore.
That is funny. And you know, my first reaction when we like pulled up, I was like, oh wow, this kind of looks like a haunted house kind of setting, you know, with like the big yellow lights in the front of the building, like everybody's,
It's perfect, yeah.
And then later on, I found out that they did used to have a haunted house attraction there. And I'm like, oh, okay.
That's right. They did say that. It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
it's weird.
Robin.
I half expected it to look that way, and then half didn't. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's weird. It was. I got like instant, just like chilled vibes. Like, oh, okay, something's happening here. Like, there's something here. And I think that's what really kind of got me excited even more. Like, I know the whole way there we were like pumping ourselves up, but then when we get out of the car, that was like legit like pump up time, because it's like, ooh, this is intense. This is for real. Like, let's go see, let's investigate, let's find out. So I think that really got me to the point where it's like, man, I'm excited.
It's go time. It was like go time right then and there.
Yeah.
Like legit Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
Yes, you know what's funny? I usually play Ghostbusters theme song when I'm going to a location, right when like you're pulling up, just to get into the mood, you know. But we did this time.
I think we did that too. I think Derek played Ghostbusters at one point. Was it Ghostbusters?
Yeah. So I was like, man, what can we play? Something different. Yeah. And I put on Ghostbusters. Yes. And I'm like, this song haunts me because I wake up every day at 5:30, 6 o'clock every day on repeat because her alarm is Ghostbusters.
Not anymore. Or wait, is it still? I can't remember. Did I change it?
Nope. It was on this morning. Who you gonna call? And I said, Jerry Springer. It's like, you know, there's one verse in the song. It goes, there's an invisible man sleeping in your bed. Who you gonna call? And then every day, every morning, I go, Jerry Springer. Nobody else knows I do that. That's the first time I've told my wife this, but anyway.
I think you're just talking bullshit. You don't really do that.
Well, when you're sitting out, no. So
well, we all know it wasn't me that was going shh in the bunkhouse, because I don't feel like that.
That was creepy.
Did the demonstration pretty well.
Yeah, right.
That was creepy. That was
wild. Yeah.
So going back to the investigation, when we first got there, you know, we kind of explained our feelings and how we got of the place, and we got down to having a tour guide take us to the building, and all the lights were on and everything, and they took us around to all the floors and kind of shared a little bit of the history on the place and everything. And we were getting set up, and we were down, like, I guess, into the little room that everybody signs their signature. I called it the nerve center, but after that, we kind of went upstairs and started kind of being in the process of investigating. And I had my gimbal in the side of the bag that you guys talked about on your podcast. And me and Charles were down at the end of the hall, and I heard this loud bang, and I'm like, what the hell? And Alicia goes to investigate it, and I guess apparently like my gimbal must have got thrown from the bag. I personally think maybe it could have just been that it was like top heavy and maybe it just fell.
Right.
But you never know, you know, in situations like that, if you don't have that on camera or anything, like, you just don't know. Hey kids, can you be quiet? Anyways, love you. Dan's in a podcast. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, at Eternal Paranormal, it's not always serious. We got to have some fun. Anyway, so, you know, situations like that, we try to debunk and stuff but
Great.
we started getting our cameras rolling. I know that you guys set up a laser grid,
Mhm,
and she started going live,
mhm,
and we put up some cat balls up on the floor
I
there,
was live.
and we turned off the lights, and everything was, going.
Great.
And I'm like leaning back, I'm like taking steps backwards, and
Gold
Tiffany's
ring and
over like
another ring right
here.
behind it.
Tiffany's in her door. I didn't see her at all because she's in pitch black. And I hear like this sigh or something. Scared the shit out of me. I swear, I probably jumped or got scared or screamed like a freaking weenie, probably like 3 or 4 times the whole night. Nobody else screamed but me.
I thought it was funny.
I'm saying, I'm still working on my
Really
goals.
quick, really
Okay?
quick though, Derek. Like I have gone back to watch that Facebook Live of that moment so many times.
Do you replay it just to get a good laugh? That is freaking funny. That is freaking awesome.
That needs to be like on. That needs to be on bloopers or something.
Yes, definitely a blooper. We should definitely do
Oh
that.
yeah, it will. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it a reel for sure. It's gonna be a reel.
Yeah,
And
well,
the
yeah.
cat ball went off right at that moment. We were all laughing at Derek.
Yes.
That's freaking funny. So, basically,
So let Lily and Vanessa take over, Derek.
yeah, that's what I was
Shut
going to ask.
your
I was just,
pie hole.
No, but yeah. So I mean, from what Derek was saying, yes, when that happened, I remember us just kind of cracking up, and then all of a sudden those like cat balls start going off, and we kind of all thought, hey, is this Elva maybe laughing at Derek and laughing at obviously him getting scared? So it was kind of cool though, because then at that point Derek started trying to do stuff that maybe could laugh or maybe could make her come out a little bit more. And we kept getting a little bit of activity from that, which was really, really interesting. So that was very, very cool. Like I know after that, we kind of just wandered around and did some random just investigating. Eventually, I know that Vanessa and myself kind of broke off and ended up back up there. I think it was on the 3rd floor on that in that room with there was like a bed in there. It was like on the far corner, and it was right next
There was
to
like books.
Which one was it? Who was it that fell straight through? Was that me or you?
And, so,
and there was like a chair there. There was like dolls.
You started reading. You started reading.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I also put down like trigger objects on the ground as well.
That was actually really cool. It was cool and it was weird at the same time.
Yeah. I think what helped
second
though,
floor, actually. That was it.
Was it?
Second? Okay.
Yes.
So I think what helped though big time was, I mean, no offense, but Derek getting scared, because I really truly think that's what broke the ice. I mean, honestly, like that was very helpful to bring out, the spirits and such, and just know that we were there, just to have a good time, not really to bother, but we're there with good intentions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was at that point then, Vanessa, when you were reading, I was in the room with you, and then we started hearing like beeps. And
out in the hall.
You had the REM pod set up out there. And so I went out into the hallway to kind of see if that's what it was. And it was just random. Like it would go off every now and then. And I told Vanessa, I was like, oh, the REM pod's going off. And at some point she finished reading her book though. And she came outside into the hallway with me. And I had set down the recorder next to like the laser grid, and the REM pod was there as well. And so we're kind of just trying to talk and see if Elva would say anything to us, would communicate with us at all. And I remember I had asked, I was like, Elva, is that you?
Mhm.
And then we paused for the longest time, and then the REM pod went off.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, Elva, did you like the story? Do you want her to read another one? And then the REM pod went off. And so that's when Vanessa went back into the room and started reading another book. And
Yeah.
so that was really, really interesting because I was standing out there in the hallway the whole time and just kind of watching it go off. At one point though, it started going off like crazy and it wouldn't stop. Like it just was on like almost kind of like permanently. And I remember I told Vanessa, I was like, oh my God, the REM pod's like not stopping.
Yeah.
It's super intense right now.
Right.
So it stopped after a while. It was probably like a good maybe like 4 minutes or something that
Yeah.
it was going off. It felt like forever.
Yeah.
And then eventually it stopped. And then Vanessa and we eventually just left. I think that's around the time when you guys were outside, and so we eventually went to go join you guys. And I remember,
remember though, before we left though, I finished the book, but then I started playing music. YouTube.
Oh, you did?
Remember, I went to YouTube.
That's right.
Yeah, so I like looked up like Farmer the Dell or just things of that nature, and then I started playing. And then remember how something was going off, or the cat ball was lining up, or something. I don't remember really, but yeah. And then after that, then that's when we took off.
Yeah. So I mean, I know, Alicia, that you had your camera set up out there. Have you had a chance to go through any of the recordings that you took at all?
Yep. I've been going through some of them. Actually, like all of them I went through actually. And so, I know that you guys said that you kept hearing walking or some noises down the hallway on the third floor where the picture is on the wall, the painting by the stairs.
Yes.
So that stairwell light did keep going on and off by itself when no one was up there.
Wow.
That was captured.
Wow.
And we also got the cat ball. The cat ball was going off by itself too at one point when no one was up there either.
Oh,
Wow.
geez.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's crazy.
So I wanted to respond
And
to
I
Jamie's,
also wanted to tell you that Derek, I wanted to say also, Derek, when we were doing the Estes method, I know this was at the end of the night and we're kind of going down the line of chain of events. He actually forgot that he left his phone on the nightstand in that room where we did the Estes method on the electroshock therapy bed. He had it running the whole time. So I haven't gone through that yet to see if we got any voices or anything come through. But I'm thinking we might have got something.
Oh,
that's crazy. I love it.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So
I would like to see your guys' video too. Did you guys do a video when you were up there by yourself?
Did we do a video? We did a
little bit, but when I got to reading, I stopped recording.
I'm trying to remember if I did or not. I don't think I did. I don't think I did. I think it was mostly just recordings. Yeah, just voice recordings is what I did. The only time I actually ever really video recorded was when I did when Vanessa was doing the Estes method though, in the bed. So since we're since we're talking
I'm so glad that you were recording.
Yes, since we're talking about the Estes method, this is what I wanted to talk about because realistically, Alicia, I wanted we didn't really talk about it too much in the episode of our podcast that we just did because I knew that we were going to be coming on to talk to you guys. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about what it was that you actually felt at that moment. So really just to kind of update everybody else who's listening right now. So at the end of the night, we did the Estes method, and I started out first doing it in one room, which was kind of like the the previous caretakers memorialized the room, and I got to lay in that bed and put the headphones on and everything in that one. And for me, I was telling Vanessa this, like, I felt so relaxed in that bed. Like, so I could have knocked out. That's how
Must be nice.
I was. And so a couple of things came through to me when I was doing it. And I didn't feel anything out of the ordinary, anything strange. Um, I had that number come through. I don't even remember what number it was now, but there was a number that came through. And after I was done with my session, I know Alicia went out into the hallway, and there's
Oh, biscuit eating whore.
a big poster in the hallway with kind of the grave sites of some of the people from that building. And was it number 34 or 36?
I want to. It was 34, wasn't it?
34. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I know, Alicia, you saw that it was 1934. 34 was on that whole board one time, and it was matched up to the year from this guy. I think his name was George something. George Cox, I think it was. I don't remember his last name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So that we're like, okay, maybe this is who was trying to come through when I was doing the session. So then we moved next door to the electrotherapy room, which is where Vanessa was lucky enough to lay in that bed. And Vanessa, talk about your experience there.
Okay, so then it was my turn, trying to get cozy on that wire bed. Derek's giving me the, everything that I need. So I was trying to, describe it as, I started off and it took me a while, but I did hear Alicia's name, but I didn't want to believe it. So I didn't, I was like, it was said Alicia. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I'm hearing things. And then it said it actually 2 more times. And then I was like, Alicia, I said it. And then after that, just whatever it was kept coming through and everything. At this point, honestly, I don't even remember what all it was. But then eventually, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden, I started feeling like my heart was racing really, really fast. I started getting uncomfortable. I felt like I honestly was running like a race. That's how I felt, but I also felt like stressed out. I had like a lot of anxiety. I felt like whatever it was, like I didn't like it. Like I had those feelings of, just all of that. And it was really, really intense, but just kept going. And then, whatever it was I was saying, I really honestly thought this makes no sense at all. I have no idea what the heck I'm saying, but all these words just started coming out. And honestly, after it was all over, it took me a while for my heart rate to actually come down again. But I all of a sudden take the blindfolds off and I saw all your guys' faces and I'm like, what? I literally honestly didn't know what to think. I'm like, what the heck just happened? Because Alicia's crying. Lily's face was like that. And then, even Tiffany was like, she said something like, that was very, I don't know. She said something like, very touching. It was very touching is what she said. And I'm like, it was? And so, I was just absolutely confused. And then all of a sudden, Derek was just like, you have to watch the video. And I was like, oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I remember on our drive back, Alicia gave me, the recording and I had it up, to my ear and I'm like, no way. Holy cow. And just piecing it all together made so much more sense. And I just couldn't believe it.
So with that then, okay, so obviously all of us got a sense of like what was happening and what was going on. Like obviously I'm watching the whole thing as it's unfolding and it's making sense. But like I'm really interested in, obviously Alicia got called out in this session. And I know that Alicia, you said that this has never happened to you before. And obviously it was a very, very emotional experience for you. what did you feel? Like, what did you think during this as it was happening, or when you first heard your name get called out?
Well, I honestly was surprised to hear my name the first time she said it. And then, Vanessa, you said death after you said my name. And then my heart kind of started to pick up a little bit, my heart rate. Then you said face, death, Alicia. Then I was like, fuck. Okay, we don't know what the spirits know. Like when we pass on and we're like stuck here, like, do they know something that we don't know? Are they able to see what happens to us in the future? Something coming? Am I gonna die? Like I was thinking that. That's when my heart was racing. So I had to really push through it, pull myself back, and get into the mentality that this isn't something threatening me. That something is trying to tell me something maybe about themselves. And then I got to thinking. I laid on that bed when we did the public tour last year. And while I was laying there, I closed my eyes, and then I got this image of someone standing on this side of the bed and this side of the bed of me, like they were getting ready to work on me. And then I just felt paralyzed. My whole body felt paralyzed. And so then I kind of brought it up, and it said shock. And then see, because I started bringing up like what I saw, and it was like telling us see. Okay, so I was like thinking, okay, so that makes sense. Okay, so this is a person possibly that died on that electroshock therapy bed that was showing me images of what happened to them. And they were telling me because I could see what happened to them. And I felt like everything they went through. I was scared, honestly, when you were saying, Alicia, death, face death, Alicia, and see. I was scared because I started remembering laying in that bed and just thinking about what that person was going through. Like they were scared. They weren't in their right mind. You know, it was a mental facility. And to be getting shocked, like people hooking these things up to you and shocking you, like that's scary. And so then it started talking about work, and I don't remember what else. What
I
else
want to say it
was
said
coming through?
people, I think work, people.
Yep. It also said questions.
Mess.
It said
Oh
staff
yes,
questions
Yep.
at the end of the hallway.
Mess. That.
Yep.
Yeah, I kept saying mess,
So
messy people.
mess. Okay, so that got me emotional because I thought of the Alms County Poor Farm, because that was on the land before Ashmore Estates was built, and it was a mental facility. So that got me thinking back to that, because it was poor conditions. It was a mess, literally. So that made sense. And then for them to be living in that filth, or like them not getting changed or fed properly and just being dirty and living in that filth. So then I got super sad and thinking about them, like then you're working these people and you're not letting them bathe or not bathing them and letting them live like this. So then I got sad. Everything just, there were so many emotions. So I was just super overwhelmed with sadness and touched also by that spirit coming through, telling me, you know, about them, how they died on that bed when it was the electroshock
And also,
bed,
you said something like "thank you,"
action.
didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
We were like signing off. Alicia started talking to them just to thank them for communicating. And that's when you said, somebody said
I said 4.
And then Derek was
yeah.
he's trying to ask you thank you for what? And then Alicia's like, well, for communicating with us. And then that's when you said, was it method? You said method.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Method. Yes. That was incredible. Like it's like then I think it was Alicia started putting together like, oh, he's thanking us. The spirit is thanking us for utilizing this method so that they could communicate with us.
That was so awesome just to have that validation and like
Mhm.
for you guys to see it like your
Yeah.
first time.
Yeah.
It's freaking awesome. It's like
I
one of my most
know.
favorite ways to communicate with spirits is like the SS method because the other person does not know what you're talking about at all. Like you cannot hear the person, you can't see what they're talking about. And then you were there like in the moment, live. You know, everything is not rigged, nothing's like crazy. We all trust each other. And to have that kind of a communication is beyond me. Like, and I see it happen all the time with other ghost, hunting groups.
Yes.
And it's like, dude, every time it's like, man, you can't, it's like, it's never, I mean, sometimes I guess, yeah, you get words that don't make sense. But when you get like a full blown kind of conversation of just these words that you hear, and then we kind of, make up, like, or not make up, but like you said, kind of, what's that word I'm looking for? When you like, you're gathering all
When you're
this
like piecing it
information.
together.
Yeah, piecing it together and everything in the moment. And yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I wanted to say something else that I noticed in the live. I was rewatching the live, and I think the reason that there was something with us in the bunkhouse because I asked when you were under Estes, Vanessa, do you want help crossing over? And you said yes. So I feel like when we went to bed for the night, when we went to bed for the night, so I feel like we're not done there. It wants us to come back to help cross them over, or I don't know, help continue telling their story and communicating with them. But I'll let you, Vanessa, and Lily talk about what we experienced out in the bunkhouse.
Man, that was weird because I mean, we thought we were done for the night. Like, we thought we're good. We're gonna go get a couple hours of sleep at least. It was probably like what 3:30, 4,
3:30-ish, almost 4, yeah.
And we're all just settling into the bunkhouse, just kind of trying to get ourselves in the mindset of we're getting ready for some sleep. And I know Charles was already knocked out. I know Derek, you knocked out kind of quick. Vanessa, same thing.
I was dead. Yeah.
And I wasn't really. I know Tiffany was kind of like up and about. Like she was kind of still up.
I got it.
But I know that I couldn't really sleep, so I was on my phone. I know Alicia was still kind of up and about too. So it was weird. So
I was on my phone too.
Everybody's in their bed. And I don't know, it was probably 20, 30 minutes just kind of knocking out and doing their deal when all of a sudden I heard shh. And I remember just kind of pausing and I'm like, holy crap, did I just hear that? And I'm trying to think, okay, is there a fan? Is there something in here? But all of a sudden I just turned to Alicia. I'm like, oh my God, did you hear that? And I don't remember
I was kind of going in and out after you said something and I'm like, what's going on? I kind of like went in and out.
Yeah.
And then I heard you say something like, oh my God, did you hear that? And I'm like, huh?
Yeah. And I know at that point, Alicia was like, oh, it's probably just somebody snoring. And it's probably Derek. Derek's snoring and he made that sound. I'm like, okay, that's fine. That sounds right. Like, that's what it is. So I laid back down and probably within like 2 minutes, same thing.
Yeah, I heard it that time.
Yes. And then I get up again. I'm like, oh my God, did you hear that? Like, seriously, I heard it again.
Yeah.
And that was very weird to me. Like, at that point, I'm like, I heard it. Like, we heard something and we don't know what it was. So obviously we're just like, okay, it is what it is. At this
And
Yeah.
we even talked about the window unit, because that's where the heat was coming from. Like I
Yes.
was pointing out, maybe it could be that. So we just kept waiting for a while. So we were listening for people snoring, Derek or Charles. It wasn't either of them, and it wasn't coming from the heater. And so at that point, it was unexplainable because
Yeah,
it never happened again.
very weird. Very weird. Because I know you even said, like, probably like an hour or so later, you're like, we haven't heard that sound again. And I'm like, I know we
Mhm.
haven't. It's weird. And
But we heard other sounds after
I
that. It
know,
was later, though, way
I
later.
know, everybody's kind of knocked out by this point, and I was kind of in and out. And then all of a sudden, like seriously, it sounded like there was just random knocks coming like around the building itself, like the bunkhouse building. I heard at least like 2 separate knocks, like at 2 separate times of the night.
Mhm.
And the first time I was like, okay, it's probably the wind, or maybe there's something like hitting the bunkhouse. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But I remember hearing it in one wall. Okay, that's fine. Something's hitting it. That's great. I fell asleep again, and I kind of woke up again, and so I'm in and out. And then I heard it again though on a different wall, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I know, Alicia, at another point you heard it too, so it's like I know it wasn't just me. And I I don't know what to make of that. I know on the podcast when we talked about it, we're like, if anybody has ever spent the night there in the bunkhouse, have you had any activity happen to you in the bunkhouse? I don't know. I still don't know what to make of it. I still don't know if it
I'm
was
down.
somebody snoring and we
Well.
just don't know. Maybe it was Charles. Who knows? I still don't know if there was maybe a tree scraping against the building. I don't know, but that was crazy. That was weird. That was very weird. Because
Yeah.
then though, Alicia, you throughout the night, you were having like crazy dreams, very crazy dreams. And so I was next to you when we were sleeping, and you kept talking. Like you kept talking in your sleep, and you kept saying, "Leave me alone, get away from me. I'm trying to sleep, stop it." And I'm like, holy crap, what is happening to her? Like, is she okay? And I
The power of Christ compels you.
remember I woke up in the morning though, and I asked you, I'm like, what was going on last night? And you're like, I don't even remember. I don't even know what was going on. So that was weird. I mean, do you remember anything of what happened? Like at all?
I remember getting touched on my left shoulder or arm at one point.
Wow.
And that's when I said, "Leave me alone.
Yes.
I'm trying to sleep."
Huh.
So there was something, and there was something in there. Like I know there was, which just makes it even that much more crazy. I just want to know though, like what could it have been? Like I want to know who it could have been, because I know also when we were like the whole deal with the tree. So when we went out there to investigate the tree for a little while, I know it was really cold out there, so we didn't stay out there that long. But I know that obviously there's the thinking that there's quite a few bodies out there on the property, and perhaps that could be the reason why the spirits are restless within the building, because they don't have that proper burial. So we were out there trying to investigate to see if we could obviously hear anything or find anything out. I know that we used the flashlight method, and we used a couple of cat balls out there. And the cat ball was going off, which was very cool to see. But the thing that I remember, and I'm sure all of us remember, is
It got weird.
yes,
Yeah.
It got really weird.
Yes.
I don't remember what question was asked or what was happening at that point, but all of a sudden it just felt like
Foster care.
lights around us just kind of dimmed down. Like legit as if somebody had a dimmer switch and it was set on bright and all of a sudden it just got turned all
Yeah.
Don't
the way
do it too hard.
and
It was like having a dark cloud come in all of a sudden
Yeah.
above us.
It
That's,
was just
that's the way I
weird.
feel.
it
Yeah.
was very weird. It was
Because you
Yeah.
could see it, like you could see the whole entire tree just get like
Yeah.
a whole shade darker, and
Yeah.
it's
Right.
already dark.
I
Yes.
know.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, am I freaking out? Like I had to ask guys, like,
Just get that first
did you
layer.
guys see that too? Like, what the?
Oh,
It was.
You guys have to watch it again
And-
because after he said that you can use the energy on your phone if you want, after that it
That's
just
what it
turned
was.
black.
Yes.
That was weird. That was the weirdest part.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's what it
the
was.
cat
That's
ball
when it
went off
became-
first. It was the cat
Mhm.
ball went off first, and then boom, the flashlight
Yeah.
turned on.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was just crazy though.
It was awesome.
So
And I wanted
we
to
were
point
having
out
some.
also, did you guys notice that when it started getting really dark and like you felt like an energy around you, did you guys also kind of notice it got quiet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like there was a
Very
sound
quiet.
barrier.
Very
It
Yes.
was
quiet.
super quiet. It just felt
Mhm.
like honestly like we were just transported into like a different like realm because it was so dark, it was so quiet.
Yeah,
There was no reason for any of that. Like there was no
Yeah.
reason like how did this happen? What just
Right.
happened?
Yeah.
It was weird.
so
ain't seen this fool
I
all
know that I
weekend
asked you
behind
guys
me.
this, but when you're like in the building, I know I kept egging, I kept testing Vanessa and Lily about going down because you know I couldn't do it, but going down the end of the hall and it's pitch black. And at one time, Lily's like, "All right, I'm doing it." And what? How did you feel about going? You went total pitch darkness down a hallway by yourself,
It did.
no flashlights, pitch dark. How'd you feel?
Oh gosh. Like it's funny because right now when you asked me that, I all of a sudden got goosebumps because it's like I can feel all of a sudden what I felt at that moment. Walking up to so we're on that first floor and walking up to that first division of doors. When you get to that threshold, it feels weird. It feels like you're not supposed to walk there. And it kind of makes sense because I mean, Derek, you couldn't pass it, and you on your Facebook Live, you tried it a couple of times. You're like, I can't do it.
I know Charles tried to do it too, and he couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
really? I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
Charles couldn't do it.
Okay.
weird feeling. Like as soon as I got to there, I was like, holy crap! But I told Vanessa this. It's like later on after the fact, I told her, I'm like, I felt like I needed to do it though because I felt like I myself wanted to put myself in kind of on that same level of these people that were there. You know, if there is somebody there, I want you to know that I'm coming in and I'm here to meet you on your spot in your level. If you wanna come out and you wanna say something to me, do it, please. I'm here for you for whatever it is that you need. And so that's really why I did it. And I remember feeling as I took that first step, I was like, holy crap, it's really dark. And I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm not even gonna think about it. But obviously I super slow. And I told Vanessa, I was like, that was the slowest walk I've ever in my life. But it was weird because it felt like there was something or maybe some things like plural like kind of watching as I was walking. Like I felt like I wasn't alone. I could feel that on me, and I felt it coming from the sides though, not from where you guys are watching me behind, but I could feel like from the sides that there was probably people watching me as I was walking down. And so as I kept getting deeper into the hallway, it kept intensifying even more. And so that definitely gave me goosebumps. And that definitely made me feel very uneasy. It was a very eerie feeling. But when I got to the end, I remember stopping there for a second and just pausing to kind of give that last chance. Like if something wants to be here, then just let me know. I'm here. I'm here. Just say something to me. You know, it's okay. And obviously nothing happened. And then so I went up the stairs and did whatever it was that I did up there. But I told Vanessa too, though, every time I would walk back down that hallway, because we walked down that hallway like a million times that night. And every time I would walk down that hallway, I was always the last one to cross through there. And I did that on purpose though. I always wanted to be the last one because I wanted to feel that again. And I wanted to feel that maybe they would remember me and say something or do something. But every time I walked past it, I still felt that uneasy feeling. It never went away. It never went away the whole entire night. So that was very weird. It was very creepy. I don't know if any of you did any of you feel weird or creeped out walking through that hallway?
Yeah.
Even as we were walking as a group through the hallway, did you guys feel weird?
Mhm.
I
I
felt
feel like somebody's watching me the whole time.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
the whole night. I just felt like somebody's just watching you,
Yeah.
and they're like,
Yeah.
"Keep going."
I always feel like somebody's watching
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
Can't get no privacy.
Hey.
No, but I told Lily though, that stairway, we always use that far end one. We never use the one over
Yes.
by the entrance. And I'm like, that's weird that we never really did. So like that morning, I was like, we never use that. I'm gonna go down it. So I'm like, might as well, I'm here. So right when I was going to go down, the lights went off. I didn't even go down the steps yet, but the lights were turning on and off. And I just
Wow.
stood there and I'm like, I see you. I know you're here. Like I kind of just, was kind of trying to, and then I was like, I'm gonna go down. And so I went down anyway. But that was really interesting.
I thought that was weird too. Somehow, for some reason, none of us even went down that.
Not at all. That's funny.
At
Well,
least
all-
Alicia did. I know
I
she
did.
did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alicia did. Yeah, Alicia
Yeah,
did.
well, she did, obviously.
I was the only one. Because I kept having to go up to the third floor to change out the batteries on the
Yes.
camera.
Didn't
So I
you
kept
at
going
one?
up there by myself all night. And that's when
Didn't you at one point say
Huh?
that you felt like somebody was following you, or you felt like somebody was behind you?
yeah.
Did you run
yeah.
down the stairs?
Yeah.
It was like
You did, didn't you? You ran down
I
the
kind of
stairs,
picked up
didn't
the
you?
pace a little bit. And
That's what I
didn't
do.
run. No,
You did.
I
Yeah,
walked.
you did. Yes,
Hastily.
you did. No.
I was pacing. I did not run. I don't run.
When I went in,
You see
when I
me?
went in for
You
my
see this?
solo,
I don't run.
when I went in for my solo, though, I shined my flashlight over to the stairs, the first set that we're talking about,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking in my head, oh, hell no. There's just something like, oh my God, dude, I felt like, dude. And I was like thinking, well, why didn't I just go in? I had a flashlight. I could have just went at least down the hall and back.
Yeah.
But just being in there by yourself in total silence. I'm talking dead silence. Dead silence. It broadens your senses to a whole different level. Like your hearing is like you can hear a freaking mouse freaking pedal from like all the way down. I mean, I'm telling you what, like your hearing and your eyesight,
Yes.
you're just on this like edgy type, and you're just on edge like this. And I man, dude, I wish I could have went in there, and I lost signal on my live a couple of times.
Yeah.
And that just discouraged me. I'm like, okay, if somebody can't see my fat ass like get attacked by some spirit, and I'm not on live and somebody can't come and rescue my ass, I'm turning back around. That's how I think. And so I did.
Oh, I love it.
So I've got some things to work on, but that's okay. Um, so I remember being up on the second floor. At a moment, I wasn't recording on my phone or doing any videos. It was kind of like a personal moment. I think Charles and Tiffany were with me, and then I think one of you guys came up at the very end. We were doing some cat ball stuff on the couch,
Right.
and at one time, I was sitting on the chair, and I felt like something like dropped and tapped me on the
Oh,
shoulder.
that's right. Yeah.
And I felt like it was like a bug or something that just kind of landed there and then took off. So I screamed like, I'm like, oh my God, what the like I didn't say that. It was more like, oh, realistically.
Yeah, it was high pitched.
Yeah, it definitely a high pitch. So, and then I went back to look and I'm like, okay, what freaking fell like from the ceiling? There's no bugs in here, literally, like,
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking all around my chair and I couldn't find anything, like nothing that dropped from the ceiling. I asked Tiffany, I said, do you see anything like weird out of the ordinary that would have just fell and landed on the floor or anything? And I think I would have heard it too, like drop or something. But it was like it was kind of heavy. Like it went, like I felt it through my hoodie that I was wearing that night. And I don't want to say that I got tapped on the shoulder by a spirit, but I feel like I might have got tapped on the shoulder by a spirit.
They were tapping you in.
Yeah, right. So then after I screamed and we're all laughing, right, the cat ball starts going off. And I think it was the little kid, the girl.
Yeah.
And because I asked it again, I'm like, did you think that was funny? And the cat ball went off like it was saying yes. And then Charles decided to put 2 more cat balls on the couch to verify, that this is, and I had them stomped all around, like just to try to debunk because they're motion detector cat balls.
Right.
And they wouldn't go off even when he was stomping near I kept telling him, like, every time that we had some kind of interaction with the cat ball, I wanted to debunk that it was either wind or vibration from us moving around. So I had Charles go up and stomp, all around the cat balls, and they wouldn't go off.
Right.
And that validates, like these cat balls really work. I like the cat ball method too. I really, it's a fun way.
It's
For
awesome.
communication. Yeah, I love it.
It's a fun one.
I
It's
had
a
few things that I wanted to. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was just commenting on what he had said, but go ahead, Alicia.
I wanted to talk about a few more things before we ended tonight. One thing I wanted to talk about was when we were all on second floor in Mary and Margaret's room, and Vanessa, you were reading the books, and we had cat balls set up around the room, and we even turned a block over to see if they can change it from the letter E for Elva. So I turned it to the number. What number was it? 5 or 6?
Yeah, 5.
But so as I stood up and I went over by the doorway to the room, and Lily, you were right by me, and all of a sudden we heard a loud thud. And I was like, did you hear that? And you're like, yeah, I heard that. So I was like, shh. I was like, Derek, because Derek had his SB7 Pro running. Shut that off. I was like, so we all just kind of listened to try to find out where that was coming from.
Right.
And we couldn't figure it out. So then I was like, maybe it was the people that were there that let us in. Maybe they left. So that's when I went down the stairs. I went looking around for them inside the building, went outside, and I had the live with me the whole time and was looking to see if they left. And there was nobody walking around outside or anything. And that's when you guys came down and you guys were asking, and I was like, there's nobody here. And then we started getting the phone calls, and I forgot who was like, I thought you seriously like were just like calling because you actually needed help or something, because my phone ringtone it says, hello, you've reached the mental health hotline. If you are suffering from schizophrenia,
I know.
press 2, 4, 6, and 8, and all those other things.
I know, because I
And
heard
you-
that, and I'm like, okay, I guess she's having a moment, and she
She
needs
needs help, apparently.
yeah, I guess so. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna start walking away a little bit slowly. I'm like, she needs a private time right now.
So then it kept ringing, and then it was this 1833 number. And Sarah, we are going to discuss that in a little bit here too. So it kept calling that same freaking number. So at that point, I just answered it because I was thinking about my kids. But it's just weird. It was a 1833 number. It wasn't my parents' number, or my other kids' grandmother's number. But I answered it, and you guys are all down there with me. And it was like a voice changer, somebody using like a fucking voice changer, and they're like, Alicia, I was just outside, you missed me, you didn't see me, blah blah blah. And I was like, that's when I was like out loud, somebody's fucking with us, guys. And then they're like, this isn't a joke, Alicia. So I just hang up the phone. So this kind of interrupts everything for a little bit there, because we're out in the middle of nowhere. It's pitch dark. There's creepers
This
out
was at
there
like
in the
2 in the
world.
morning.
And,
It was a little crazy though.
Yep.
and I wanted to make
It kinda
sure
killed the
that
vibe.
everyone was safe. It did. Because this was your guys' first time being at an overnight investigation, a private one at that. I wanted everyone to feel safe and secure. So we call over the caretaker and asked them if they could check the security cameras. And then her boyfriend ended up coming over and checking out the property. And we ended up continuously locking the doors throughout the night. But then we were talking about it, and I was like, they had to have known that I was outside. So clearly they were watching our live, and my phone number is on our page.
Right.
So if that person is watching tonight, screw you, dude, because we were having a good night and you killed it. And you need to find something better to do than trying to ruin our night.
Hey, P.S. We love all of our followers. Thank you for the 5,000 minus, some of these scam ones. I don't know, but
Yeah. Yes.
Bruh,
We had just reached 5,000.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hey, I just wanted to mention though, before, I just have to mention one thing, couple things. So I remember you guys were playing music when the Lily and Vanessa were up doing like their thing. We all left the building.
Yeah.
And that's when they started hearing footsteps and phantom footsteps going up the stairs and whatnot. And then at some point they were playing music, and then the next day when we go to take off, you guys got in the car. And then there's like random music, like the kid music, the Christmas song, and
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Something
there
other
was a
random,
couple of
yeah.
kids song that came on through the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi of your radio.
Yeah.
Really random.
It was
And
weird
yeah, Lily
because
couldn't stop it.
yeah, it was weird.
Wow.
Because, so Vanessa was playing that night before up in that room. It was kids music and like old like nursery rhyme type music. And
Yeah.
then when we're getting in the car, I think it was when we had initially like take like literally probably 30 seconds into the ride home. The music kept switching to little kid music, like again, like little nursery time type music, and I think there was like a Christmas song in there too. It was like kids Christmas music,
Right.
and we're like, what the heck? Like the first time I turned it off and I switched it back to what we were listening to, and then we're like, okay, that's fine. And then it does it again. It switches back to like a kid's song. We're like, what the hell is happening? And I think it was Alicia. Alicia was like, Elva, you can't stay here. You need to go back home. And then so I think
we were literally on the dirt. We were on the gravel road just leaving, and I was like, Elva, you got to go back.
Right.
It was like right after that, I changed it again. And after Alicia had said that, it never changed like back. Like it was fine. It was fine the whole way back. I'm like, that was weird. That was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was wild.
And it's interesting that you said that. It actually did stop after I said that too, because I didn't even pay attention or realize that until you said that just now too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was very crazy. I'm glad Elva stayed.
That's funny.
Your kid would have had someone to play with. She wanted to play with some kids too. Dang it.
Oh my God.
Mom, I'm seeing a girl every night. She pops into my room.
How freaking scary.
What would you do?
I
Oh
would,
my God.
actually, I don't know. I don't know what I would do.
Say,
I mean, my son has seen what I believe. My son has seen spirits in the house. I believe he's seen my grandpa. Because he will talk to him and he will play with what I believe is my grandpa.
We've talked about it on our podcast.
Yeah.
wow.
So
We totally need to investigate. I'm just kidding. So I have one question.
They have their own equipment. You'd think they would have done that by now.
That's funny. I got a question.
If they really wanted to know, they would know.
If there was one thing that you guys could have done more if we had the time, because I know that, like you guys have said on your podcast, you know, there's only so much time to do so many things. And it almost feels like when you're in the motion of doing everything, it's like one moment it's midnight, and then the next moment it's like 2:30. It's like a time lapse.
Yeah.
And you just get lost in time when you're in the building doing things. And so I feel like the night just went by super quick. But if there was one thing that you could have done a little bit more, what would it have been as far as like using different equipment or
Well, I know Alicia,
I was going to say that this was going to be my next question, was the coulda, shoulda, woulda. Yep.
Right. Alicia, you had brought up the fact that we were gonna, I want to say, play a game or something like that.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was so cool. That was such a cool idea. Too bad we ran out of time, but I think that would have been awesome. What was it? Uno? Yeah. So I think that would have been awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That would have been cool. I think for me, I think I would have loved to investigate for a longer period of time in certain specific areas. You know, like I felt like I was very much like a kid in a candy store in that situation where you're like, oh my gosh, I want to go here. This. But then it's like, yeah, you do all of that. But then it's funny because I've been thinking about this question this whole freaking week, because I'm like, man, like it would have been cool to spend a good amount of time in one specific area to see and just to communicate a little bit more. Like I know we talked about the possibility of maybe having communicated with George, you know, and if that was in fact him that we were talking to, I would have loved to have been able to talk to him a little bit more and just gather a little bit more information and see if there was something that we could do specifically for him, or, you know, maybe there was somebody else in the building that also needed something. I think that was my big, like, man, definitely need to go back here, because it's like, I feel like when you go for like the first time to any location, it's very much kind of just trying to like get to every spot and to just see. And then when you go back again, like the next time, it's like, okay, the first time I came here, I learned this. So maybe let's try this now. And it's always kind of more of like evolving with each time that you go to these same locations. So it's like, I very much believe in returning to specific areas. I don't think that once you go once, you're done. It's like it's always a keep going back and keep trying to figure out more and learn more and trying to see what more you can do. Because honestly, like for me, and I know for Vanessa, we always talk about this. It's like it's kind of like the premise of obviously of our podcast. We love to know the history of places, but it's also we want to know the history of what happened here. We want to know the history of who's here. We want to know why you're still here. We want to know if there's something that we can do for you, because I mean, I know that I very much believe in that we're interested. I know so many people do this. They're passionate about it also because they feel like a responsibility to these people. Like if you have that ability to communicate, if you have the ability to help these people, why wouldn't you? You know, because if that was us, we would definitely need that same kind of compassion or that same kind of something. And it's like, and if we can do that, why wouldn't we? You know, I feel like so many of us are lucky to have that capability. So that's definitely something that I know pushes me and Vanessa to keep doing this. And the fact that our first time was with you guys, it's definitely something that is memorable and something that we will never forget. And something that I know we are going to keep building on, because I know that this will not be our last time with you guys.
Exactly. Just like Lily has said, I mean, that's something we always do touch on the podcast, but something that I have been thinking about all week, I still want to know what it was, even though I did pass out. I still want to know what that shush was and what the knocking was all about. That's really what I've been wondering about all week. So if we weren't all so dead tired, I think that would have been something that we all would have tried to look further into, because that really piqued my curiosity.
I wish I had your coffee cup right now, because that would have been a perfect promo time. Literally
dead tired.
Pop it up on the screen there. Sean wants to know where you guys are located.
We are in the Quad Cities, Sean, Iowa side. I am in LeClaire, Iowa. Vanessa is in Bettendorf, Iowa. So Iowa side of the Quad Cities.
Yes.
I was going to say
they do a podcast like they've been talking about, and you can find their podcast on Spotify on Wednesdays, and where else, guys?
Anywhere where you can hear podcasts.
Yeah. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart. I know, Derek, you listen to us on iHeart. I listen to it on Spotify. Yes, I listen to our own podcast. I listen to it on Spotify.
I do as well. You got to.
We also have a website, you guys.
We also
have hauntedhappyhourqc.com.
Yep.
And try our coffee if you're interested. Bourbon infused.
We have coffee.
I can't wait. Because they're coming out with a new flavor, and I want to know what the heck it is, because I need it.
Hey, you guys are also coming out with this wine. What is it? Wine Wednesday? Or I just saw it today. I don't want to get it wrong. It's a wine something. I don't want. You guys haven't. Have you talked about it yet?
You're almost right, Derek. Well, it's kind of what Alicia was saying. So we are coming out with a new flavor. We announced it on Valentine's Day because it is a wine infused coffee. So
okay. You know what?
Stay tuned for the official announcement that will be coming soon in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. So when you guys put your teaser up there,
yes,
I honestly thought that it was going to be like a show. I totally didn't. I'm like, oh wait, what? Are we sipping on wine? And oh my god, it is magic.
I
No,
love it.
coffee.
I love it. Woo. Well, we
Dude.
did bring some of our coffee for you guys for the investigation.
yes, you did. Dude, I was
It
gonna
was
say
I'd come back
definitely a
for a
necessity.
teammate. Or
we have to go back. Would
Yes.
you guys be willing to
We
go
do.
back there with us?
Oh,
Oh, we absolutely would. We totally would. We would be down.
2 thumbs
Right
up.
on.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
on that rock.
I love that.
How'd you do that?
I know. What was
I
that?
didn't do
I
that.
thought you did it. I thought you did it.
You
We
did it.
need a
Wait,
word
wait.
circle like this. There it goes.
What?
What?
Wait.
I love that.
How did you
do
cool.
that?
Let's
I
try
guess
that.
I'm not as cool as you. It's the blue light.
What the heck? Why don't I get it?
Thank you.
Wait,
What
do it again.
Just a drink to that one.
I like that. Cheers.
Because you're on a
I'm working with Android, so I don't think it works.
Ah,
Oh my god, that is freaking hilarious.
dang you, StreamYard.
Hey, I wanted to go back to what Sarah
Hey,
said.
I pay for the subscription. Where's
Hey.
my fireworks?
She was talking about where our next investigation is.
Yes. Yes.
Inquiring minds.
Want to know.
Yes.
So I reached out to Lily and Vanessa about Waverly Hills Sanatorium
Bum, bum, bum.
for a whopping $1,000 split between all 6 of us. And if we did this, it would have to be in summer when school's out because it would be a weekday investigation, but it would be an overnight all to ourselves.
Yes.
And I don't know. How about you guys?
We would love that. We would totally be down. Love
That'd be
it.
insane.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That'd be the biggest
Yes.
overnight investigation, and your second one. So yeah,
Oh,
We're
oh
down.
yeah,
We're down.
I can see all these people looking around me now.
oh my god, I could just see
I'll be
myself
looking
down the
back
hall.
every 2 seconds.
I could just see myself getting lost in the place. Like, oh my god, where am I at? Where the hell, guys?
Are you
I'm
going to be walking down a
talking,
hallway
like,
by
I can't find the
yourself?
place out. Nope.
Uh-uh.
Maybe.
That's a long walk.
Dude, them hallways are long.
And that
That's
has
funny.
always been on my bucket list is Waverly Hills.
Ooh.
Wow.
So if we do this in the summertime, I think we might have an investigation before then. We were talking about this Renwick mansion. We reached out to somebody there. They're right in Davenport.
Yeah, I've been
Their
there.
venue. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm like super interested in doing like an overnight stay there.
That would be
I've only been there for like a party, like they had a wedding and things, but
Yeah.
I do remember feeling because I think we talked about it on the podcast.
We
I
did.
do
We had an
remember I would go like to the bathroom by myself and it was eerie, but I didn't know why. Like at the time I didn't know the history of it and things. And one of the bathrooms is located, I want to say 2nd floor or 3rd floor, something like that. I don't remember. Anyway, but I remember going up there and just
Yeah, the guy was up
feeling
on the hill.
odd, but I just didn't know why.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've
Now,
heard some
I
stories.
actually went
Yeah.
there before too. I went there for my best friend at the time, her sweet 16. So her mom had booked the place overnight and we stayed there overnight.
wow.
So after the party and everything, I was kind of wandering upstairs on the 2nd floor and there's like an overlook that balcony that you can see from Tremont Avenue. And
Yep.
that's where I kind of got the creepy vibes. But I don't remember anything ever happening, just besides the vibes and the energies that I was kind of feeling. So it'd be cool to
Yeah.
investigate. I know Kristen and Kelly McCarville, they did a YouTube video where they investigated that building. That's up on YouTube if you guys want to check that out.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah.
that would
Yeah,
be
other than that, and then I'm going to reach out to Factory of Fear too, and I'm interested in that building. I mean, yes, it's a haunted house, but it is a factory, and
Old
things
factory.
may have happened in the factory a long time ago, and so I need to get more history on it and do some more research into that and reach out to those guys because I know that some of the workers there have experienced things after hours, and I think Nick Simons, I think he's been there to
Yeah.
do some investigating at one point too with some of the
Yes.
workers there. So I think that would be fun.
Mhm.
It would just be like a fun investigation. And so, we've got a few places in mind. We just need to kind of, coordinate things and go from there.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
it sounds good.
So before we wrap up for the night, is there anything upcoming that you want everyone to tune into? Also, for those of you watching, if you didn't, you can rewatch all those lives and see all the amazing things that we experienced throughout the night on our Facebook page. But yeah, so Lily and Vanessa, do you have anything coming up? What's your next podcast?
Oh, that's a really good question. I know Vanessa's actually going to be out of town this weekend, so
Yes.
she's going to be off doing fun stuff without me. So I'm not sure if we're going to have an episode this coming week or not. More than likely not. So it'll probably be postponed until next week. But check out our socials just to stay in the know. But regardless, I mean, if you guys are listening, watching right now, check out our latest episode of the podcast that just dropped on Wednesday. We did recap Ashmore. In the previous episode, we talked about the history of Ashmore. So if you want to know more about that, definitely tune into that one as well. And then, of course, like we talked about a little bit as earlier, we are going to be officially announcing our newest flavor of coffee, which is a wine-infused coffee. That official announcement will be coming in the next couple of weeks here, so stay tuned for that. You can visit us at hauntedhappyhourqc.com, and you can see all the other events that we're going to be at for the year. So definitely stop by and visit us at any one of these events. You can try our coffee, or you can just chit chat with us about spooky places.
Yep. We would love that.
And the merchandise. They've got amazing merchandise as well.
Yes. Yay.
Yay.
Well, we'll go ahead and wrap up tonight. Yay! Fireworks!
Don't forget our next investigation.
Boots and cats and boots
Our
and
next
cats
what?
and boots and.
Don't forget our next
What did you say,
investigation
Tiffany?
that we're gonna do. Our next investigation that we're gonna do.
Yeah. Yes, that'll be at the old YMCA with our winners from the Paracon that we did in October of 2023. And yeah, I can't wait to do more stuff with you guys. Seriously, you guys were so much fun. You are so much fun. We loved having you on. We're glad that you came with us for your very first overnight investigation.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for inviting us.
Thank
it was
you.
awesome.
And yeah.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. So yeah.
Sounds good.
So yeah.
Oh,
remember
Oh,
oh
that's
my
funny.
god.
Oh, geez.
So yeah,
Fun at McDonald's.
say that again. I'm sorry.
I said fun times at McDonald's.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nobody would have known if you didn't open your mouth.
Kind of like the Walmart experience. But no one knows. No one knows.
Oh gosh.
That's a behind the scenes thing. You know what? I love you girls. You guys are so freaking awesome, positive, funny. We always have laughs. You guys are super down to earth. Man, you guys are awesome. So I appreciate you guys. Like,
Thank you.
just, yeah, like she said, coming on with your guys' first investigation with us. And I know there's going to be more. We've kind of created this friendship. It's not just, meeting up and doing, paranormal stuff, but hopefully in the future, we can all hang out
We've
and
got bowling to do.
Yes.
do some bowling and some karaoke and stuff.
Oh
So,
yeah.
you guys are just awesome. So just keep doing what you're
Aw,
doing.
thank you.
And I love your podcast. So
Yay! Thank you guys. Woo!
You guys too. Can't wait to hang out with you guys in person again.
too.
Thanks for
Love
letting
you
us
guys.
here. Love you, hearts.
Yay!
I didn't.
Wrapping it up,
Dumb
this
dumb.
was Noobs with Boobs.
Woo!
Over now.
You are
Stay
signing
spooky.
out. Yay!
Bye. Stay
Bye. Thank you.
see ya. Have a good night.
Thanks. Good night.